Hey, and welcome to section 1.6, subtracting integers. I usually say hey to Ahava. Today I'm going to say hey to Isaac because he's going to see these too. So, hello Isaac. Subtracting integers can't really be done. It can't. They're going to ask you to do it all the time, but it can't be done. So, since it can't be done, we can change the problem, which is what we do. We change it from a subtraction problem to an addition problem because we know how to do that. So, we can add the opposite. In fact, that's literally what this little subtraction symbol means. It means to add the opposite of. So, when I read this, it's saying 3 add the opposite of 9. So 3 minus 9 becomes 3 plus the opposite of 9, which is negative 9. Because the opposite of 9 is negative 9. I think you know that part though. Okay, let's look at some examples other than this one. How about negative 2 minus 5? That literally means negative 2 plus the opposite of 5. What's the opposite of 5? Negative 5. Now that it's a plus problem, that means I can do my rules from yesterday. So like signs means we add the two numbers together and we get a positive 7. Negative 7. Just making sure you're listening. What if I had 2 minus 5? 2 minus 5 really means 2 plus the opposite of 5, which is negative 5. Now that I have it to a plus, I can use the rules from yesterday. So different signs mean we subtract. So it's going to be negative 3. What if I have 5 minus 2? You know, for years now, you've said that 5 minus 2 is 3. I'm just saying you have. It's been that way for years. But if we want to look at our rules say we change it to 5 plus the opposite of 2, which is negative 2. Different signs mean we subtract, keep the sign of the larger number. So that's why it's 3. But you know it's been 3 for years. I promise. It's not going to change. The things you've been doing since you were little, they're not going to change unless you've been doing them wrong all this time. Surely you haven't been doing problems like that wrong. What about 5 minus negative 2? This is the one that always messes people up. This means 5 plus the opposite of negative 2. The opposite of negative 2 is positive 2. So 5 plus 2. That's 7. In fact, whenever you have minus and negative side by side, it turns into a plus. Normally, I have people circle them so that they know they turn into a plus. That way they don't forget to do it. The whole circling thing, it helps some people out. So, let's look at a problem and make sure we can use it inside of a problem. Let's do this example. it says m minus parentheses n minus 7, where m equals -3 and n equals -5. If you think you can do this problem without me, I would like for you to pause the tape and we'll see. Okay, so let's see if you did it right. And even if you didn't, I'm still going to explain it so you'll know how to do it. So in place of m, I need to put what they told me m was. So I'm going to go ahead and write my -3 minus my parentheses. In place of n, I write down what n is. Now I have to follow my order of operations. Order of operations says you do the stuff inside the grouping symbol first. This has more than one number in it. That makes it a grouping symbol. So -5 minus 7, once again we can't do subtraction, so I have to change it. So it's going to become -5 plus the opposite of 7, which is -7. Like signs means we add, so that gives me -12. So now I have -3 minus -12. Once again, we can't do the subtraction stuff, so I'm going to have to rework it. Bring it up here so that you can see it. So that's going to become -3. Instead of a minus, I do plus the opposite of -12, which is plus a +12. And different signs mean we subtract now, so that's going to give me a +9. Now, I am so happy that you got 9. However, Isaac, if you didn't write down some of, you don't have to write down all of them, but if you didn't write down some of these steps and you did it in your head, it's going to mess you up later. I mean, it's going to mess you up bad later. So make sure you're writing down as many steps as you need. Now I know you're thinking to yourself, oh, I can do it all in my head. I did this in my head, and then I did this in my head, and I just wrote down the 9. That's great. I'm glad that you can do it in your head, but I need you to be able to write it down too. So you need to get in the habit of writing stuff down. Okay? Speaking of writing stuff down, let's talk about your classwork. Classwork. Class exercises. On page 29, 1 through 7, all. Once your mom checks those, and hopefully you finish all your other stuff for the day, then you can come back and do your homework, which is practice exercises. Same page 29. Numbers 5, 9, 13, 15, 19, 29, 37, and 39. Enjoy, and I will see you tomorrow.